The 24 Hours of Le Mans, where man and machine face their limits and find what lies beyond them.
It's the biggest race on Earth. It's probably the hardest race on Earth.
Le Mans is pure racing. That's the race everyone wants to win one day.
You kind of have to have the mentality of a warrior to do the job, no matter what.
Since 1923, Le Mans has played host to the 24-hour race considered to be the most physically and mentally demanding on Earth, as well as the most dangerous. Only those willing to push themselves to the very edge, to test the line between life and death, and who refuse to bow down to the challenges of each moment, stand a chance of victory. Many never make it past the finish line, and some never make it home. Yet year after year, Le Mans impassions men from all over the world to come and take it on.
I was kicked out of school when I was 16. I went to see the headmaster and he said essentially that I wasn't welcome back and that I wouldn't amount to anything.
My sort of dream has always been to sort of emulate Mick Hackenham and all my heroes I used to watch when I was a little boy on TV.
We established Joseph with my original business partner, John Stack. We started the business while I was at university, and they tried to throw me out of university for running a business from the halls of residence, but subsequently we got over that.
And by the time I was 40, I was on the Sunday Times rich list, and I employed maybe 300 people or so. So I like to think I proved him wrong.
When I started to sort of realise this could be more than just a bit of fun on the weekend was when I won my first national karting event when I was 12. So I was racing against people much older than me, but still beating them. I had some really good years in Formula Renault and Formula 3, but when the opportunity came up with Jota, it was just too good to turn down, and to be racing at Le Mans, to have that opportunity at my age was amazing, and that's why we decided to go the sports car route.
Probably more interested in racing cars than I am in road cars. You also have nice cars, but that probably still harks back to having a better car than the bloke next door, which in Monaco is more difficult than it was when I was in Hemel Hempstead.
Ever since I moved into cars, I've been working with Alan McNish, who's obviously 3-time Le Mans winner and sports car ace. He's been down the same road as I have, and been there, done that, and got the T-shirt to a certain extent. And he was a really good person for me to be able to learn off.
Part of success in life is just oftentimes pushing yourself harder than anybody else would ever expect. And then if you do that, then you're more than likely going to win.
Pushing yourself to the edge may be the secret to success, but stopping yourself from going over it is just as crucial. Jota Sport know all too well the cruelty of the Circuit de la Sarthe. The small British privateer team have taken it on no less than 7 times. But despite valiant efforts and years of preparation, a podium finish remains elusive.
So whilst we've had enormous success in all other forms of sports car racing, Le Mans remains our nemesis.
This year will herald a fresh chapter in the team's history as they have a new and bold driver lineup. Jota veteran of 5 years, Simon Dolan, is determined to take on the challenges of Le Mans once more and overcome his maverick reputation that in 2012 saw him lose control of the car 20 hours into the race and force the team's untimely exit.
Oh, it's the Zytek. Jota Sport is off Simon Dolan into the wall. Less than 4.5 hours to go, and that is a big impact. I'm afraid it's all over for Jota Sport.
Le Mans is just about the only thing that's ever beaten me, and I just have to get there and win.
Simon is paired with the young driver Harry Tincknell, the protege of Le Mans legend Alan McNish. A talented single-seater racer, but a Le Mans rookie. This will be Harry's endurance season debut. 2 experienced Audi factory drivers will join the duo. Felipe Albuquerque, the Portuguese star, will take the wheel at the European Le Mans Series, and crucially, ex-Formula One driver and Le Mans champion Marc Genet will lead the team at Le Mans itself.
Essentially, you have 3 roads to go to Le Mans. One is from America, so there's a series over there. So the choices that you have if you're based in Europe are to go into the European Le Mans Series, which is ELMS, which is the one that we do, or the World Endurance Championship. And then we choose to do the round at Spa as a bit of a warm-up to Le Mans.
In each of these races, different types of car and different classes of driver meet on one track, adding danger and excitement to every lap.
So we go there this year, 2014, with an even stronger lineup, a better team, a well-honed car, and all our hopes pinned on a good result this time round.
The Jota Sport team are here in Estoril, Portugal, for pre-season testing. With just 14 weeks into Le Mans 24 hours, this is the team's first opportunity to get the car on track after its winter rebuild.
Testing is something that we do all the way through the year. It probably started last November when Dunlop brought a new tyre. We went to Aragon in Spain and we did some tyre testing there. Zytek brought some new bits and pieces that they wanted to develop. And then even when we get into the early races with the European Series, we almost treat some of that like testing as well. You're looking for the durability of all the parts and of all the little updates as you get to Le Mans.
This weekend has been the first time that we've all got together as a team. Felipe's fitted in really well, so that's really nice. Harry looks quick, so yeah, it should be a really good season.
Whenever I go, I just try to aim for the victory. With Harry coming from a 3, I think he's adapting really quick to the car. He's really fast. And Simon, with his experience already, I think it's a strong team together.
Small things are changed on the car, and it's more an electronics thing that's changed now, so it makes it not easier for us to drive, but in terms of the getaway, we're finding a little bit of time there. In terms of the traction control, that's a lot better than it was last year. It's finding tiny things, and we're finding that a lot of the time comes in the non-lap time, so getting out of the pits and doing things like that, rather than being that much quicker on track.
It's amazing how similar the LMP2 car is to the Formula 3 car. I was really quite surprised because when I first walked into the garage and looked at this machine, I was thinking, wow, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to adapt to this. So I was sort of very happy, obviously, to get in and do a good job straight away.
A racing driver has got to cope with all the things which could potentially go wrong. And then they have to process that, they have to mentally put that aside and then work out how they do what they do to stay on the circuit and ultimately win.
When I came to Jota, I was impressed with the small and strong group of people they were. So I was testing, we were having some problem to set up the car, and they knew exactly what to do. And I loved that from the first moment. They were fantastic inside and out of the car, because that's what we need for endurance racing.
A confident-looking Jota Sport have worked hard and are ready to start the season. Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, the perfect yet challenging host for the first round of the European Le Mans Series.
Harry Tincknell qualifying, but that's a good choice. Although he's got a bit to live up to, hasn't he, in his first outing for Jota.
Last year I raced with a guy called Oliver Turvey, who is McLaren F1 test driver, immensely quick. And Harry's ambition really was to go out and see if he could match Oliver's time. And honestly, as a team, we didn't think that first time out he was going to be able to do it.
Jota had success here last year, remember. All eyes from the pits on the young man. Oh, it's a quick one. Jota Sports soared to the top with a 1:47.07. Blown away the competition.
And he just simply blitzed it. It was as good as lap as I think anybody had ever seen. And I think he was on pole by 1.2 seconds, which is ridiculous. You know, normally it's hundredths or tenths of a second at most. So you think, yeah, as an omen for the season, this is pretty good.
ahead of the field. Felipe Albuquerque brings round the first round of the European Le Mans Series. And as they go through the green flag, we are racing and the European Le Mans Series is underway for 2014.
Gap is down for 1.5 seconds to P2. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Box this lap.
A great drive by Albuquerque. He's got a decent lead as he comes into the pits now. Simon Dolan standing by to jump in. Now he's the silver driver, so he's got to do at least 2 hours and 20 minutes of the 4-hour race.
And lead the race for the first 10 laps, and then the traffic came up. I got caught by the P2. He almost passed me in Cops. I was a bit surprised with that because I had quite a good gap, but pretty happy because after that, just nice and easy.
Felipe made a really good start and a really good first stint, brought the car in about 25 seconds in the lead, which was a brilliant job by him. And now Simon's in the car, and we're doing a slightly different pit stop strategy to the rest of them. So we're now down in P3, but Simon's doing a really good job. He's doing consistent times, and all going well, so hopefully we can keep it up.
Great driving, you're back in P1.
Well, Simon's just gone back into the lead. He's a 9.9 second lead. We just need to see what the other silver drivers do. This time of year, we don't know how quick some of the new drivers are, so we can't say any more than that at the moment.
Was a great result for me. Qualifying on pole, and looking forward to getting back in it now in race conditions with all the GTs about through.
At the head of the timing screen and with 33.5 seconds of a lead, Simon Dolan for the Jota 38 Zytec. Simon doing exactly what he needs to do, hitting his marks, not taking chances in traffic, and just reeling off those lap times. This has been extraordinary by Simon Dolan. He's had, 147 minutes behind the wheel. His lead, 33 seconds. Harry Tinkle still to come. Jota are looking untouchable.
Big one.
This is on the Hangar Straight. Simon Dolan from the lead of the race. That car is going no further.
Bob, that's Simon. Come in.
Safety car is on the circuit. The incident teams are at the scene of Simon Dolan's accident.
Let me know, let me know.
Simon, do you copy? Are you okay?
Feeling cold, feeling cold.
Nothing yet from Jota Sport. They're waiting for information too.
Will you bow, will you break?
The rescue effort goes on the hangar strip. We're not seeing any pictures from the crash scene.
So I don't like how they're not showing the car.
And tell me now, can you hear me calling?
Simon, do you copy?
This must be terrible in the garage. It's horrible, isn't it? It's just horrible. We'll give you more when we have the official word from Jota.
'Cause I'm waiting.
Simon, if you copy the message, come back to us.
Is it too late?
You never really think about hurting yourself and everything. That happens to everyone else. It doesn't happen to you. It went from being elation of we're doing so well, we're going to win the race, to oh my God, I can't believe we're shunted the car, we're out, to hold on a minute, is my teammate okay?
Was a really, really, really dark time. It's the first time I'd really kind of recognised that actually this is pretty serious.
This is racing, and things happen.
I would think that's the biggest sacrifice, the safety aspect.
Yeah, it's about as low as I've ever been, I'd say. I mean, the sudden realisation that actually my mate might be, I'm not even going to say how bad it could have been.
Obviously, the events that unfolded were very hard on everyone. And when we all saw on the screen Simon's incident and the car in the wall, it was really tough for the whole team. You know, Simon's not just a driver, he's not just a colleague, he's a friend to all of us.
I remember thinking that it was going to hurt, and I hit the wall, and it really hurt. I knew exactly where I was on the track, and I knew exactly what was going to happen, and that there was absolutely nothing I could do about it. And that was the only moment that I have been genuinely scared in a car. And it was the first time that I can say I've been genuinely scared ever, really.
That kind of impact, where Simon hit head on, the problem is, for me, is the fact that obviously as he hits the wall's pretty stationary, isn't it? It's not going to move, so his body's the only thing, the organs within his body are the only thing which are going to move, and they're all going to move forwards at a hell of a rate. And it's about what they hit on the way, what they damage.
When you know you're okay, it's the fact that you've thrown away the lead. And if you're driving in a team of people, you've let down, or you feel as though you've let down the other two drivers and the whole team, and it's a pretty horrible feeling. And it just all became a bit surreal. And then someone said there's a lot of blood. One of the medics said there was a lot of blood, and it was like, oh. And then it occurred to me, hang on a minute, my wife's watching this on telly. And, you know, what's she going to be feeling about it? And then I kind of hoping that she wasn't watching it, and then sort of trying to ask the medics if I could, you know, borrow a phone or something, but I couldn't, because all they're concerned about rightly is making sure that you're okay. So it was a long period of time before I could actually speak to her and, you know, tell her I was all right. And obviously she was going crazy at home, because even the team don't get word that I was all right, and the radio had broken in the impact, and so I couldn't radio the team. So no one knew that, you know, whether I was all right or conscious or my legs were missing or anything.
Obviously, we had concerns. We weren't sure how he was going to come out of that. I mean, from as far as I was concerned, he could say, right, actually, this is really dangerous stuff, and I'm not going to continue this. I mean, Simon being as strong as he is, I don't think he'd probably admit too much to any of us anyway. I think the biggest problems were probably the lower back, the dizziness, and the lack of sight, basically, which can obviously be a side effect of the concussion itself. So the next day, I think watching Simon walk down the hotel hallway towards me on a slight slant as he can't quite compute and stay upright was telltale signs that he had been in a fairly big impact.
Now, we've got a wrecked car. We've got a lot of work to do before Spa in 2 weeks' time, and immediately people start asking the question, are you going to be at Spa? Can you do it? And, you know, funny enough, that just encourages you to try harder, to make it happen, to get the car out for Spa. So we're sat here now, a few days after, the car's in a million bits down there. There are new bits being delivered every few minutes. And we'll be there. We'll be at Spa. The guys will work endlessly to get it there. And hopefully at Spa we can do good what didn't happen at Silverstone.
You take it in stages. You don't allow yourself to become swamped by what is a big job.
These aren't parts that you buy for your road car that you just unbolt and bolt back on. All of these parts are handmade and therefore have human error in them. So they all need to be fettled and filed and manipulated to fit the car. So it's not an easy process, but the guys are working hard at it and they get it done.
It's the job. You know what the timescale is and you know how damaged it is. So you take it one day at a time. You take the car, you strip it down, you put the not so good bits to one side and the bits that are great to the other side. That's your first day. Then your second day you go and you get all your parts from your super duper Zytec. That's day 2. Day 3, you go to URT with your tub and they'll tell you what they can and can't do with it. Day 4, 5, 6 and 7, you're just on it. Build the car, all new bits, build it. Put it in the lifing program, put it together, put it on the surface plate, bring it to Spa and stick it on the circuit.
Spa, the iconic Belgian racetrack. Jota Sport are making a guest appearance at this round of the World Endurance Championship, giving them the opportunity to test their Le Mans driver lineup of Dolan, Tinknell, and hugely accomplished pro driver Marc Genet. The team also getting to size up more of the competition they will face at the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Marc Genet joins us as Audi's reserve driver, a former Le Mans winner with Peugeot. He's in fact finished Le Mans 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th thus far, and he's aiming to be the guy that wins Le Mans both in LMP1 and LMP2, which would be a record as yet. We can learn a lot from him and his experience with his various factory teams he's competed with at Le Mans.
As much as when you look at drivers and so, okay, this year, you know, I'm driving with Marc Genet, Peugeot factory driver, won Le Mans, still Ferrari test driver, been doing it all his life, all the rest of it. I still want to beat him. I still want to be quicker than him. And the same with Harry and the same with, you know, any other guy on there. In racing, we have rankings for the drivers and it's really just part of the technical regulations. But I never ever want to be ranked as a silver driver, which is Am at the moment. I just want to be compared with the other drivers. And so if there's a platinum driver that's a bit quicker than me, I don't look at it and go, well, he's a platinum driver. I look at it and go, shit, why is he quicker than me? Where can I get some more time? And I want to beat him. So it's not necessarily about the winning. I suppose by default, if you're quicker than everybody else, then, you know, if you have a bit of luck, then you do win. But it's much more about me performing, as I say, better than anybody else than picking up a trophy at the end of it.
When I was in Formula One, then I dreamed about Le Mans, you know. When Audi first offered me to race with Jota this year, I asked a few people and everybody spoke highly of Jota as a team. Very professional, very good teammates. So people I knew, they all told me, do it. You know, you're really gonna enjoy driving for such a competitive team. And I have to say, the team I've been impressed with, they are very, very good. We have a good chance of winning any race we may do. And it's great fun to drive.
Spa's a really fast, ballsy track with a very famous corner called Eau Rouge, which is a uphill, blind, flat, which means you just keep, there's no brakes, there's no nothing, you just keep your foot on the throttle the whole way through. So it's pretty scary, but I've done it, you know, a lot of times before in this car, so it's no problem.
Every man must find his own way back from facing his own mortality. As Simon now prepares to take the wheel once more, Any fears or doubts must have been overcome, or will indeed be faced head-on out there on the track.
So Simon Dolan now in the Jota, first time back behind the wheel since that Silverstone crash just a couple of weeks ago, because he still saw around the edges. Oh, a spin sideways at Raidillon, the top of Eau Rouge. Exactly what the Jota team didn't want to see.
Yeah, I'm on Eau Rouge, but I've not hit anything. We can see you on the telly. Yeah.
The edge can be closer than we think. Sometimes pushing one step further will be a step too far.
Simon just had a bit of a moment, but didn't hit anything, and which is the main thing. And he's back out there now on new tyres, so sort of getting back on the pony effect sort of thing. It's good to go straight back out and get his confidence back before tomorrow.
In the race car, you have telemetry, and what telemetry is, it sends all sorts of signals back to the engineers in the garage, telling them exactly what you're doing, where you're braking, when you're braking, how much you're braking, how much you're steering, accelerating, all the rest of it.
He knew that we would all be looking at the data. Now, in racing driver world, people don't lift at Eau Rouge, they keep flat, and Simon knew that, and he knew that we would all be watching, and he also knew that we'd all be thinking, has he still got this? Has he still got the guts? Has he still got what it takes to be a racing driver?
Now, as I was coming round to do this lap, I thought, I've got to take it flat, I've got to take it flat. And that was singularly the scariest thing I think I've ever done. And he did.
World Endurance Racing qualifying is a bit different. It's the average lap times of two drivers that qualify the car. For Jota, Marc Gené and Harry Tincknell, fourth position on the starting lineup.
No one can deny what a remarkable job Jota have done in just getting here today. Hard to believe that just 2 weeks have passed since their horrific crash at Silverstone. Harry Tincknell will start the race, giving him just a taste of what lies ahead at Le Mans.
As we roll on the formation, the green flag lap. It's round 2 of the FIA World Endurance Championship. Cracking stint by Harry Tincknell. Started the race for Jota and got up to second place. Remember, this is a single-seater driver, used to 35 minutes in the car at a time.
Pace felt good, and yeah, we'll see what Simon can do now.
In third place, Victor Scheitar is only a second or so behind Simon Dolan, so that's a battle. Simon Dolan has done a great job keeping the Jota Zytec in the top 3. It was Harry Tincknell, of course, who started the race and got them up to second place. Marc Gené now behind the wheel, ex-Formula 1 driver and Le Mans winner. He won this endurance race in 2012 with Audi, and Jota will obviously be keen that he repeats that success today.
driver change.
Engineer now, who's to the Jota Zytek, the 38 car in second place, and he's got 32 seconds on Alex Imperatori. The red, white and black Zytek. Harry Tinknell, who stepped up from single-seater racing, Graham, under the tutelage of none other than Alan McNish, who spotted his talent relatively early on and has been mentoring the lad.
Great drive, Harry. You're P2. Bring it home. Bring it home.
Second place in LMP2. It's a great story for Jota as Harry Tinknell crosses the line. What a comeback from a wreck at Silverstone to podium glory today. Just 2 weeks separating the two events. The talent of Tinknell, the determination of Dolan in that middle stint, and Genet with his experience. What a lineup for Le Mans.
Podium finish. A win still remains elusive, but Jota Sport's confidence is building, their faith restored as the chase and focus now lie firmly ahead. The desire burning for the ultimate prize. Imola, a track steeped in history. Its infamous corners lie in the minds of every driver and spectator that comes here. The atmosphere from the fateful weekend that claimed the lives of Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna still felt in the air.
Dealing with the danger is something, honestly, that you don't tend to think about. And how you deal with it is just simply by blocking it out. You can't think about it. If you thought about it, you would never go around the corner quickly. You'd probably never even get in the car. In 2013, there was a tragedy. You know, somebody died at Le Mans, a driver called Alan Simonson, which was just horrific for everybody involved, and it brought home that what we do actually is very dangerous. I honestly didn't want to get back in the car, but you do. And then just every time you come through that corner, you just feel sick. It was terrible. And then how I got back on with the rest of the season, I don't really know. Yeah, but just horrible. One of the worst things I think I've ever experienced.
For sure, motorsport is dangerous. You see that on all the signs when you drive into the track each time. But it's not really something I think about too much. I mean, I obviously know the risk, and you see the shunts, and I've had some bad shunts myself in the past, but crashing and the danger is part of it.
When I hit the wall at Silverstone, I remember sitting in the hotel that night and just thinking, no, that's it, I'm going to stop this because it's not worth putting them through it. And I did sit down and have the conversation with Sabrina a few days later, and just said, look, if you want me to stop, I'll stop. And she said, well, you know, why would I stop you doing something you love? But that, you know, so I knew that she supported me and the boys, obviously. But even from my point of view, there was still that, you know, do I really want to get back and do this? Because it's not my job. You know, I choose to do it, and I love doing it. But do I want to put everything on the line just to go around in circles very fast? And the obvious answer was, well, yes, I do.
Round 2 of the ELMS and the third race of the season for Jota Sport. Felipe Albuquerque rejoins this motivated and determined team to contend the 4-hour race here at the notorious Enzo Andino Ferrari circuit.
Jota Sport go 2 for 2 in the European Le Mans Series, second consecutive pole. Felipe Albuquerque brings pole position. Harry Tincknell starting the race. Harry Tincknell, pole sitter, under pressure, comes under the gantry now, and we're racing at Imola, and Tincknell's got an absolute belter. Look at the gap he's pulling out, a cracking start for Jota Sport and Harry Tincknell.
Be careful through the traffic, Harry. We can't afford a mistake. P2 is close behind.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? Harry Tincknell has not a lot of experience in these cars. He's doing a cracking job keeping it out front and battling hard in that Zytek for Jota.
Which went well, but there's a lot more GTs on this track and it's a lot tighter than Spa.
That 1.1 second that Jota has disappeared.
Is everything okay with the car? Copy. Get a little bit of pickup on the tyres.
Well, the lead, I'm afraid, has slipped away from Simon Dolan. He's reporting pickup with the tyres, costing him time. Now, he's managing that problem, but he has dropped down to 5th.
After my stint, Simon went out and he was struggling a little bit with the tyres and he said he didn't feel quite right, so he did the best job he could, and then at the end of his stint he came in and we changed the strategy and Felipe went out earlier than expected.
And a complete tactical change for Jota. Felipe Albuquerque in the Zytek now with a new set of tyres. He's going well and getting quick laps in, but Simon Dolan hasn't done his full allocated time as a silver driver. He'll have to get back in later on, but for now, Felipe is going great guns. Fastest lap, 136.144, and the purple numbers are next to Felipe Albuquerque. And in fact, he's just taken the lead. Simon Dolan is having the drive of his life here. He had to get back in the car. He hadn't done the allotted amount of time for the silver driver. He's got the pro drivers nipping at his heels and he's holding them up. He's weathering the storm and the pressure and keeping the speed up as well in these toughest of conditions. This is quite a point to make in Jota's last race before Le Mans.
Simon went out to do his last 2 stints, and he would then go to the end. And then the safety car came out, which boxed everyone up, and that meant that on the restart, instead of being 60 seconds ahead, we were only 10 seconds ahead, and with only pro drivers behind him. So he's done an amazing job to still be in P2 now, and it's looking like P2 is going to be where we're going to finish.
Fantastic drive, Simon. Keep pushing, and we're keep P2.
Watch out for Simon Dorland in the Zytek number 38. The Jota car's about to retain the lead with 2 laps to go. He's just not going to believe this. I'm not sure we can either. Right, Simon, just keep it clean, bring it home, and this is a great turnaround, isn't it? The Jota team robbed of a win at Silverstone. The checkered flag is out. Simon Dorland goes across the line, and Jota takes their first win of the season.
Jota leave Imola believing in themselves, in each other, and in the foundations they had built. With determination and luck on their side, they taste victory. But are they ready to take on the toughest challenge yet? The 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Take care, guys. Good luck, man. See you in Le Mans.
See you there.
The journey so far has pushed everyone to the edge and sometimes over it. But what lies ahead has no room for weakness.
In my life, I've been through quite a lot of tough moments. And doing the hard thing has generally been the thing that's made me succeed. And I think it was that probably pushed me through and said, this is a bit of a challenge, this is a bit of a test, but there's no way I'm giving up. And so I carried on. Le Mans is without doubt the toughest race on earth. And, thousands of people have come and tried to win. And up until now, it's beaten me, like it's beaten everybody else. And I just want to come back and beat it.
Le Mans. How you got here doesn't count. Who you are and what you do anywhere else makes no difference. All that counts is right here, right now.
It doesn't respect history, and it definitely does not respect what you've done in your career. You have to do it here.
Now in the modern world, people want everything now and they want everything fast. This type of event you might think is too long for modern people's thinking, but you see the passion in the people.
In my experience, it's been like everybody's personal Everest.
The enduring nature of the event is incredible. People that come here and watch us race for 5,500 kilometres on the limit all through the day, night, and then the next morning and the afternoon again is something to really experience.
Here the main thing is the racing, that it still stays as it used to be many, many years ago. And then everything fits into it. And I think it's great that it's still such a big race without having to think so much about the commercial aspects.
When you're going down the pit lane, you just don't feel as though you belong there the first time. You feel as though you feel like a fraud, really. And it's massively intimidating. Maybe this is the first year where I really feel as though I've earned my right to be here, and this is 4 years in.
The test weekend here at Le Mans provides the teams and drivers the ultimate opportunity to prepare themselves, their race setup and their strategy. Le Mans is a circuit that cannot be taught by simulation. It has to be lived, driven, time and time again. Marc Gené joins Jota once again after the trio's impressive Spa podium.
Yeah, Marc is just the consummate professional. He's a lovely, really genuinely lovely guy to get on with. Fits in perfectly well with the team. You know, he's just immensely quick. He's that quick through traffic that his lap times just don't seem to change. And that's something that Harry and I can learn from him, which will be absolutely invaluable at Le Mans.
At Le Mans, the team aspect is more important than any other race. Everyone in the team is important. Of course, you have Harry and Simon, my teammates, that we work very well together and we are very united. Normally in racing, your teammate is your main competitor, and here no. Here your teammate is the first person you need to tell him anything you know, because the better he does, the better you will do.
Oh, that's good to see. Harry Tincknell at the wheel of the Jota number 38 Zytek for the first time here at Le Mans.
Since I was a little boy, I've always been watching this race, so certainly it's a lifetime's ambition to drive here.
So Harry Tincknell then gets to see that brilliant sight of the Dunlop Bridge as he comes out of the pits. The Circuit de la Sarthe, surely incomparable to anything he's done before. That young man must be finding this as daunting as it is breathtaking.
Yeah, I mean, the first lap was just like, whoa, I mean, just unbelievable, you know, just driving down the Mulsanne, incredible.
Simon Dolan's really come into his own over the course of this season. He was very good indeed at Spa and the WEC, and that second stint at Imola was mighty.
Keep up the pace. Push, push, push.
Oh, tyre! That's a tyre gone 200 miles an hour down the Mulsanne Straight. It's just gone.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Car's wrecked.
Yeah, it's a puncture and it's taken out a huge amount of the rear bodywork. Simon's done a cracking job in keeping a cool head and stopping that from being much worse. That's a most unfortunate event for the team.
The Jota team face a new but not unfamiliar challenge. Every hour now counts even more as they once again work on getting their car race ready. Le Mans is a spectacle like no other, providing fans and drivers alike a feast of fun, challenges, and intimate moments that remind all why motorsport touches their hearts.
Just 7 days after testing comes a week-long extravaganza of all things automotive, which starts with the famous public scrutineering in the Old Town Square, an event where the fans can get close and personal with the marvellous machines as they watch them go through 3 stages of intense official analysis. After this, the teams get to stand proudly beside their approved vehicles for the official team photo, and for all to see and admire.
It's obvious that Le Mans race is a hugely tiring thing for all the guys, but the week itself is extremely difficult on everyone.
Le Mans race week is a ball ache. Scrutineering on the Monday, you know, that's a full day affair. And then you've still got spares to prep on the Tuesday. You might leave the circuit at about 2:30 on the Wednesday, and then you've got the same thing again on the Thursday, and again you'll get the car back late. And then you've got Friday, which is a big rebuild day. But it's all about keeping a good attitude.
It is, and it will be always the nicest moment in my professional life when I won Le Mans in 2009. And every time I come to Le Mans, I realize there's such a special atmosphere around. And you can see it everywhere, from the track, from the fans, from the paddock, the cars, you know. It is, as a race, it's definitely the best race in the world.
To win Le Mans, everything and everybody has to be perfect. It's very easy to go and buy a seat, if you've got enough money, it is anyway, or even to go and buy a whole team. But that money doesn't make everybody perform perfectly. You know, it can be the smallest things. We do 30 stops, 30 odd pit stops during the course of the race. If Roland, who does the refueling, misses at some stage and costs us 10 seconds, that could be the difference between a win or a loss. If one of the mechanic cross-threads a wheel nut, that's Le Mans over. As drivers, if we're, you know, half a second a lap off, that's it, forget about it, we've lost the race. Everything and everybody has to operate seamlessly and perfectly for 24 hours.
Free practice is now well underway here at Le Mans. It's Wednesday afternoon, just 3 days before the big event. This session is a critical last chance to refine setup and strategy before the first qualifying this evening. For some teams, going into the later session is all about qualifying times and grid positions. Others will be more concerned with setting up a good balance that can be sustained for the 24-hour race itself.
Harry Tincknell really picking up the pace here. You can pretty much see every lap he's gaining seconds, so he's learning, and it's great. Oh, hang on a minute. That's at the Porsche Curves. It's a prototype. It is a coupe. It's one of the factory cars. Looks like it was an Audi. Yeah, it's an Audi, and it was like Duval. Red flag, red flag. The session has been stopped. Red flag is out.
I was actually in the car when Loic Duval shunted, and I drove past it, and I thought, blimey, I mean, that's just hardly anything left of the car. And I didn't think he was going to, you know, I thought he'd be very badly bruised and shaken. I didn't think there was any way he'd be able to race on the weekend.
I mean, the first we knew about it, I was in the garage, and all you saw was the remains of what looked like a car. You could barely even see it was a car. We didn't know it was an Audi for quite a long time because there was just so little left of it.
An unlikely twist hits the Jota team as they realize the implications the Audi #1 crash could have. The call comes through that if the wrecked car can be rebuilt and make the starting line, Jota's lead driver, Marc Gené, could be rejoining the Audi factory team, leaving their campaign hanging in the balance.
Then we found out it was Loic, and you're worried about him. Then we found out that he was okay. And then, of course, immediately what goes to mind is actually we're going to lose Marc. You know, Marc was our Le Mans experience. You know, this unbelievably good driver with all the experience in the world that was there to kind of mentor Harry and I. Was in all likelihood going to be going to Audi as their reserve driver.
Of course, there is some talk because I'm a reserve driver, and we'll see what happens at the end. At the moment, I'm just thinking about Jota, that I'm driving for Jota.
Well, welcome to Wednesday night. It's the first official qualifying session and also the first opportunity to get the cars and drivers on the track at night. Of course, every one of the drivers have to do their night laps if they're going to race at the weekend. So let's just underline what's happening here down at Jota Sport. We don't know if Loïc Duval can drive again at the weekend. You can almost feel the tension down there in the pit. And they've already had some bad luck this year. We can only wait to see what the next few hours bring.
As the qualifying session draws to a close and hails the end of another long and grueling day for the team, the news they've been dreading is confirmed. Jota will lose Le Mans champion Marc Gené, a bitter blow, and one that could end their campaign entirely.
In that instant, when everything's going on around you, you're thinking, well, what the hell do? We haven't got another driver. There's no one here. And then you're in that awful moment where everybody's, you know, Le Mans isn't just about the day or the week, it's about the year leading up to it. You know, this is 20 people working their asses off all year to get to this one moment, and in a split second, it's just gone. It's just taken away from you.
The future of the team is now uncertain, as they are left with just 12 hours to find a replacement driver or face leaving Le Mans before the race even begins. As a new day breaks, with just 2 days to go, Jota's hopes have been resurrected. Former Jota driver Oliver Turvey rejoins the team.
Following on from the Audi incident last night, we had to let Marc Gené go back to Audi to do his role as the reserve driver there, which obviously left us with a hole for the third driver, because the rules state that each driver can only do 10 hours, therefore you must use 3 drivers. So we went ahead and got in our driver from last year, Oliver Turvey, who flew in at 6 o'clock this morning, and he's here now getting ready. He's had his seat fit, and he's just going through all the new technical items on the car with the engineers.
When he called last night to say, can you make it over? Yeah, I said yes straight away. It's a great team, Jota, and you know, great race. I was desperate to come here.
Marc was obviously the most experienced driver in our team. He's won Le Mans before, and I would say he was a bit more of the team leader. So I've sort of had to take over Marc's roles, but it's my first ever time here. So certainly interesting for me, but you know, it's just another thing that I'm just going to have to step up to the plate and deliver on. If we could find anyone to replace him, I would suggest that Ollie would be one of the top choices, and so we're very lucky to have him.
There were a lot of kind of planets that needed to align for everything to work out. And say it's all very well, Ollie saying, yeah, I'd love to drive, and a very different thing to actually getting in the race car.
Yeah, getting thrown in at the last minute. You know, I haven't driven in the test day or in the free practice or qualifying yesterday. So yeah, we've had to make a seat today. Had to go signing on, drivers briefing, all the things the drivers have been doing for the last 4 or 5 days probably, and I've had to squeeze into today. I think this is the last point you could ever get thrown in, and you know, I'm really excited to get out there and you know, hopefully do the best job I can for the team.
Forget, it's not just about the 24 hours of the race. Days here at Le Mans start early and sometimes go on into the wee small hours of the morning. Jota have already had a sleepless night, and Ollie Turvey's just getting reacquainted with the car, and that's clearly why we're not seeing race pace at the moment.
So you're kind of living on adrenaline from the Monday all the way through to Friday, all the while building up to the biggest race of your life. And then, you know, after, as I say, after all that time, then you've got a 24-hour race to do.
Still not seeing the times we might have expected from Jota Sport. They'll be disappointed too, I'm sure. They've gone down from 12th to 14th in class in that last session. Now we're seeing the sort of performance we expected from Jota Sport. The 38 car has Harry Tincknell behind the wheel, and much more pace coming down.
All right. Great job, Harry. Great job. Keep pushing, keep pushing.
They've got to be happy with that qualifying lap from Harry Tincknell. First time at Le Mans, second in class.
To be honest, after 2 or 3 laps, I started to feel really confident with the car and then started to push it really nicely. You know, we came in second, so for my first time here, I was really happy with that.
Determination, hard work, and undeniable talent has seen many battles fought. Now Jota claimed position 2 on the start line. Now is the time to live Le Mans, absorb the excitement, the adoration of hundreds of thousands of cheering fans, to build the self-belief and champion spirit that will drive them forward. There is no success without struggle, no achievement without hardship. The battle so far has been epic, the journey here throwing challenges that no one could have anticipated. But now, it is time to find what lies deep inside, the very thing that will make champions and history here today.
Teams from every corner of the globe line up and take their place on the most famous track in the world. Those who reach the end will have driven over 3,000 miles, hit speeds of just over 200 miles an hour and spent 85% of the time on full throttle. But now, over 260,000 fans fill the stands and pack the trackside enclosures and look on with eager anticipation to the start of this epic event.
Now is the time. Now is the moment for every man on the start line. What has come before fades into nothing, and all there is left to do is drive.
Ready to roll then for the 2014 82nd running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and the Rolex clock is about to get underway. who will make it into the Dunlop curve for the first time as the Audi pulls off, and Fernando Alonso gets ready to wave the field away. It looks to be a good start from Toyota. There is Alonso waving the French tricolour. Harry Tinknell's got the jump in P2. He actually leads Tristan Gomendy back in the P2 class. So the 38 Jota Sport Zytek, which won in the European Le Mans Series at Imola, leads the way in P2.
P1. Remember, it's a long race.
Yeah, great start. I mean, 22 years old, starting the biggest race on earth. He's gained the race and he's holding it, a couple of second lead, so yeah, really happy. A long way to go.
Jota Sport, the 38 Zytek coming in. That's Tinknell getting out. Ollie Turvey will jump in, and Tinknell must be happy with his performance. He was right at the front of the LMP2 field throughout that double stint.
Just 90 minutes into the race, and Le Mans is living up to its reputation. A catastrophic downpour has created devastating conditions. Cars collide as they struggle to stay on the track.
Ollie Turvey into the pits, dropped down into 14th position in LMP2, that's 28th overall. The car's number illumination panel causing problems, and choice of tyres not great either.
After nearly 4 hours of driving, the teams have already completed the equivalent of 2 Formula One races. Finding themselves toward the bottom of the pack, Jota face a colossal task. But the battle is far from over.
Okay, Ollie, big push to the end of the stint. Big push to the end of the stint.
Torrential rain on the Mulsanne, so really tricky conditions, both. It was an Audi and a Toyota in the barrier, so just really took it really carefully. We lost a bit of time in the garage, but you know, I think the important thing there was just to stay on the track, and you know, there's a long way to go in the race. So.
Superb drive, Simon. Push, push, push.
Fast approaches, having been plagued by such cruel twists of fate before the race even began. Just crossing the finishing line will be a huge achievement in itself.
Yeah, first stint was hard. The car wasn't balanced very well, particularly, so that was a bit of a challenge. And then, you know, when that happens, you just got to keep ploughing through it and doing the best you can. And then gradually, over the course of the first stint, the car started coming back. And then the second and third were pretty good, and I would quite happy to stay out there for another one, I think. But yeah, all good. And with 17 hours to go, it's just plodding away.
And so we know it's time to go. But time is something we can never own. And so we feel the speed of sound. For one last time, we won't turn round. We will paint the city lights. Let them shine. Let them shine. And we could be right on time. Yeah, we could be right on time. If we could see I was never yours, you were never mine. But we could be right on time.
The hours between dusk and dawn seem to stretch on endlessly. The exhaustion, the repetition, the darkness and the constant noise play with the mind. Each stolen second of sleep must be willingly sacrificed at any given moment, for each decision and action of every team member is crucial.
Time remains unchanged, a mystery. While I make my moment in history. I'm not yours and you're not mine. I'm going for the win this time. I'm going for the win this time.
6 a.m. Harry Tincknell is now back in the car, and every team on the track welcome the breaking dawn, as surviving the night is a triumph not to be underestimated.
Amazing stint by Harry Tincknell. He's fought every single minute of his time behind the wheel. Jota now back into 5th in class. That's amazing.
So a long time in the car. I'm used to sort of 35-40 minute races in Formula 3, so do a 3 hour 20 stint is a lot, but I really enjoyed it. We ran the soft tyre, so I was really fast in the first couple of stints. You know, it's still over 8 hours to go. You know, that's 2 ELMS races for us, so long way to go yet, even though yeah, we're sort of into Sunday morning.
This could well be the story of Le Mans 2014. Ollie Turvey back into 4th position for Jota Sport. They dropped back to 14th in class at one point. Remember, Jota's platinum driver, Marc Gené, had to go back to Audi, and in fact, he's leading the field at the moment in that Audi LMP1. Jota's rise has continued. Simon Dolan now in a strong 3rd position. Simon has always been quick. He's been quick this year, but he's really focused on his consistency this Le Mans.
hours to go, and the fight is very much still burning. Amongst the LMP1 factory teams, we've seen Mark Webber hit trouble. It looks like Porsche may be out of contention. A stark reminder that even after 22 hours of racing, anything can happen.
Speed could be with a Jota Sport car. Harry Tincknell really making that fly, but Gomendy will be reporting to the pits this time.
And that second place is about to be cruelly snatched away from Alex Brundle by Harry Tincknell, trailing a bit of tape or something behind the left rear of the Jota Sport Zytek. Out of Multan corner, pulls to the right-hand side. Alex has seen him, gives him room through the first kink, and Harry goes through. Nothing that the young Englishman can do there, battling against Harry Tincknell.
Now, one for Poulter and McCrunch when he gets a moment is how much longer we're going to see Harry Tincknell in this car, because Jota Sport still got their new boy because of this reshuffle of the drivers. Oliver Turvey, the Turvinator, still yet to actually, well, they've still got that bullet in their gun at the end of this race, and he is very quick indeed.
Harry Tincknell, in jumps Oliver Turvey. New tyres are going to go on, so the unstaggering of this race in LMP2, this gap's going to go out, and then we're going to see Turvey hunting down all the way to the flag. 1 hour and 40 minutes. If anyone can do it, he can.
So the leading P2 car comes into the pits, and Ollie Turvey takes the Jota Zytek into the lead of LMP2. And Jota will need a splash of fuel before the end of the race. Half an hour to go now. Turvey 20 seconds at the lead of LMP2. He needs a splash of fuel, remember. The tension.
Okay, Ollie, it's box this lap for a splash of fuel. Confirmed. Box this lap for a splash. Okay, pilot, ready?
Team sport in every sense of the word here at Le Mans. All eyes on the fuel guy.
Pop. Well done, mate. Well done.
He's done it, but just done it. Still in the lead. Just a couple of seconds separating them. This is going to be a fight to the finish.
Okay, Ollie, there are 14 minutes remaining. 14 minutes remaining.
Turvey extending the lead in LMP2 now. He's just about out of sight of the second place car. Jota must be daring to believe now. Just minutes remaining. The hand is aloft from the man who on Wednesday night was expecting to be watching us, not us talking about him. Ollie Turvey brings home a top step finish for Jota.
Well done, Ollie, you super self. We just won the ball. Come on, yeah!